it's time. The meeting to order of the Coupeville Commissioners. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Mary Ann Burr, Commissioner for District 1.
And John Shanazik, for District 2.
Martin Vanderpass, President, District 3.
Are there any changes to our agenda?
I have a question about that. How would we have a review of the outcome of what we did at the Muscle Fest? Is that part of our, is there any kind of report about?
I think maybe a commissioner reports, you could just insert that, couldn't you?
I guess that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
right there.
sufficient for you to talk about?
Well, if you'd like to, sure.
Okay.
I have another question about the agenda. Over email, it seems like the reasons we're having the executive session have all been resolved. And I'm
No,
wondering.
that's
No, we
not true.
need to have a discussion. We need to have a discussion.
That's not true.
Oh, fine.
You
Either
just-
if they're resolved or not, or we still need to discuss it and get the fuck up.
Anything else?
No, not right now.
Okay. We'll move on to our commissioner action, the approval of the minutes. of February And
Uh,
20th workshop and the February
actually,
26th.
thank you. Yeah, we got a public comment.
Hmm?
Public comment first.
Oh, I always. We down there at the bottom. And if anyone has public comment, this is the time for public to address the commissioners on agenda items or other concerns. The board will consider all comments, but typically will not take immediate action. Please state your name, city of residence, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Do we have any?
Nope. No one's attended our meeting today.
All right, then we will move on to the approval of the minutes, which we have all been sent for review.
You can make a motion if you want. I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the February 12th regular meeting and the February 20th workshop meeting.
And
February 26th.
20.
February 26th regular meeting. Sorry about that.
I second that motion. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor of approval? Aye. Unanimous approval of those 3 sets of minutes, and we need to sign them. Oh, oh. How many?
Yeah, I can get you on.
Oh, two. More than the pens up here.
In my pens. This is 19 cranking, so I need it to go in the trash.
You just go to the trash for you?
Yes, running out of it.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I gotta do that one.
I got it down and get marking finishes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, I signed 3 times, but I didn't get the pages in order.
It's the second page of the. Second page of the. Oh, no, you know, second line. I'll worry about this. If we're going.
All right, we need to do the vouchers. Do we have that? What I'm saying.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have the voucher sheet?
Yep, she sent it to you guys.
I don't think we have it printed out.
Oh, did you print out the voucher sheet?
Yeah, that's the meeting. Oh, that's for the,
There you go.
what would you like to, get us started on that? That's it all.
I move that we approve the voucher sheet for the Port of Coupeville dated March 12, 25. Covering voucher numbers 2425-0301 through 25-0335. The amount of $83,846.08. And electronic vouchers, EFT 0301 through 0305, the amount of $37,619.23, for a total of $121,465.
Second.
John?
I was sent more than one set of vouchers by email.
Well, you were sent one that was preliminary. That was sent out on Friday, and then Monday I still have vouchers coming in, so that's why she sends an email. It's all the other stuff, so one of the things that we're,
It's got payroll?
yeah. I think it does.
Mhm.
What was
Yes.
added to it was the Woodridge construction. We had another pay app come in. So
And
I said-
CSC,
Yeah, this is the same as the one I got in my email on, yeah.
Do you,
Yep.
do you see yourself on the payroll?
I mean, I think all the payroll is mixed in.
Okay,
Together.
it says a lump sum.
Yeah, we don't break it out on this.
I
Okay,
think
Because
where
it's all
these are
done-
personal names,
This is for the
Okay.
county.
when there's names here of staff, that's like they got
oh,
reimbursed
that's a reimbursement.
$40. or
Okay,
something.
so all of the direct deposits are a lump sum that go under electronic vouchers. I understand now.
Just vouchers.
Right, because we have that to review, but we don't approve that separately.
Improve all that together.
You? That's all my questions answered. Are there any other questions or comments? All right, we'll take a vote. All in favor?
sorry.
Unanimous approval.
Okay, we'll sign that and then go into your report. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk it out. Cool.
Thank you.
Have a hard stop. 10:40.
Yes.
So, executive director.
All right. So 7.1, the broadband project, right now, we are just kind of waiting for Zipley. As you guys noted, our review's been signed. I did ask for them to provide, as soon as they get it done, a type of mapping with the list of those addresses that you guys requested, the 345 addresses. So we can start, letting those people know at some point in the future that they're gonna be getting service, but right now, they're dealing with a lot. I can tell they're very busy. They are slammed. So Chris, working with Chris St. Germain, she's keeping things moving forward. We're looking at some of the old work we've done with the cultural study and so forth. So we're just kind of waiting for them to be able to free up some labor but I think right now they're actually designing the system.
Yeah, so we signed our use, it's pretty much in their hands to start
Yeah, it is.
the whole process of design and build, like what
Yeah.
is the next thing that the port, what's the next action the port needs to take on this?
I just keep knocking on the door, see where you at.
So we're just kind of,
We don't do any, no,
Getting
it's all in their
progress.
hands now, yeah. I mean, they're gonna come to us and ask for some of the stuff we've already done and paid for to see if it will help them out, like the
Just the
cultural
previous
studies.
engineering and documents and everything that the grant information,
The
and
previous engineering, they're not gonna use it all.
but the cultural stuff.
Yeah, they'll use the thing,
Some of
yeah,
the studies we've done.
yeah, the thing is that where we may have done those studies, maybe not are in the new building. So we're kind of in this process of like matching what we've already done to what they need, and it's not a lot, because they're literally gonna design, build the entire thing. So
Aren't
all the
you,
permitting, all that kind of stuff.
aren't you really saying cultural studies we paid for?
What's that?
We paid for them, we didn't do them ourselves.
Well, we paid for them, yeah. We paid.
I just for clarification.
Well, the grant paid us.
The grant,
Yeah.
the grant,
Yeah,
we used the grant to buy cultural studies, which we will pass on.
yeah. So, you know, in that. So also, I am dealing with, there's gonna be some big bills coming up, over $50,000-$60,000 for it from PSE. Because we did a lot of work with their poll work, getting all these polls for over 1,000 addresses and then when we stopped the project on August 1st of 2024, I let everyone know. PSE did not let me know that they are 4 to 6 months in arrears of their bill. They like to get all of the poll work done, then they wait. And then, so all this work that was being done in April, May, June, and July, which stopped in August, is now completed. They got it completed, and now it's in the billing system. So now I'm starting to roll in all these invoices. And I've been going back and forth and saying, you know, I'm trying to fight that. Especially the rental. I'm like, no, you can't send me a rental fee for poles. I never rented it. You know, we're not attached. We never touched a pole. So I'm arguing that point, but all the other stuff, again, be covered by the grant. Those invoices, you'll see more invoices coming from PSC. And then that will literally close out that whole part of this project. So, just know those will be coming through, and I had got them on my desk right now, and then they told me, not only are these due, but there are others that we're now just starting to close out from April, May, June, and July.
Well, what was that? There's gonna be.
There's gonna be more than what I have on the desk. So right now I have about
Yes.
$45,000 worth of bills sitting on my desk for pole attachments,
But all from PS,
all from PS. That is correct, yeah.
and the grants can pay for all of
But
the
yeah,
previous
yeah,
work that
they'll pay for
was
all of
done.
them. They'll pay for, I just want to let you guys know that, okay, so
We'll see them on. that.
you'll see them on the next voucher, basically. Cause I'm waiting to hear back on the rental. I don't want to pay the rent, but we're not renting.
So did a map ever show up about where all this is being done? Remember we were meeting?
Yeah, I said that earlier. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. I'm waiting for them to get the engineering done,
Okay.
so we can show you guys the map. I have a list of the addresses, but it's just an Excel spreadsheet.
Could you send me that? That's the Don?
Yes. Where's that coming from? Oh, I mean, it's from you somewhere. You're both.
Yeah, but, well,
Sorry.
I have a question, Robin. I'm sure you mentioned this before. Is all the new 300 and some houses?
Mhm.
Were they all? Is that a subset of the original?
Yes.
Houses?
Yes.
Do they know who they are? Or does that, have they been notified that they will have?
No, they haven't been notified yet. We just literally just signed the area a few weeks ago.
It will be farther along before.
It'll
they-
be farther along. Once they get the design going, I guarantee you Zipley's gonna be marketing those 345 addresses.
That's up to Zipley.
That's all up to Zipley. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just kind of, we're waiting on them right now, but they are, you know, moving forward and stuff. So they're well of a due date.
where's not gonna be, if, you know, where if another, like Coupeville wants to plug into that system, where's the knock for the system built?
I don't know, because I don't know where their knock's gonna be at this point.
Okay.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if they would have, that would come out of the engineering, I guess.
Yep, it'd come out of the engineering. I mean, they probably have an idea where it's gonna be already, and once I can sit down and finally have that first meeting with Chris and Jessica and start getting some details in, I can get some of those questions answered, but I have no idea. It's gonna,
Well, thank you for getting this IRU done. That was-
yeah, that was
that was a
huge.
help.
Yeah.
decline.
When the customers are identified by Ziply and the marketing happens, will the port's name be included in that?
No, no, we're out. We're kind of at this point, we're just, no, we're out.
In the back room?
I'm just gonna keep, pushing and getting updates. They'll be sending me quarterly invoices. I'll be processing those with Dawn for payment and then quick reimbursement with Tammy. That's all. We're at this point, we're just kind of a pass through.
Okay, so Ziply benefits by having all this work already done for them via their grant.
Well, Zipley
Yeah.
benefits by getting their 345 addresses on copper and on fiber with being completely paid for. But keep in mind, Zipley actually matches some of this. So they're putting in over $380,000 towards this, but that's still a great
Yeah.
deal for them.
Staff did all the legwork to get access to these funds.
Which was part of the plan of the grant program anyway.
Yeah,
This is a sidelight
Yeah.
that we,
We get bragging rights.
Yeah, Zipley wouldn't have been able to get access to this money without the port,
Oh, of course.
so I think they
Right.
benefit that.
right,
Yeah.
right, that's.
Yeah. Yeah, bragging rights is true too.
Yes.
We're the ones that did it. Yep. That's what's going on with the broadband project right now. Any updates I get on that one, I can just I'll shoot you emails to keep you informed. So the wharf envelope repair project, you guys just approved the last pay app, which included tuning up some doors and rebuilding the two boxes on the causeway. They look fantastic. They actually match the work, but you guys probably saw them when you were down there. They not only match the work, but we use the same roofing materials that we used on the roof, so they look almost like a little miniature work. So that's coming to a close. We are pretty much almost done with that project. Then we'll close it out and we'll do, what's that?
Alright.
Yeah, I'll get to that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's, it's a separate project, but,
Oh.
it'll still be included in the IVD envelope, but we're gonna close out this project. And because they want their 5% retention, so we'll enter them, we'll enter in, a notice of completion. Okay, and then we'll release the 5% retention when they get all of their ducks in a row. It's actually based on them. And then in April, we thought we were gonna do it a couple of weeks ago because we had a window, we had like a week window, but we decided not to. Probably in April, they will come back out. We've already got the bid, we've already accepted the bid to have them just repaint and just repaint the work, so.
So the repainting was not part of the original Woodbridge construction project,
No, because they painted
according to what we wanted them to do, is what.
yeah, we chose the wrong finish and and the color did not come out the way we wanted it
And
to.
the number of coats is consistent with what
Oh,
they originally.
yeah,
agreed to
yeah,
do?
in fact, that's gonna have a lot of paint on it. When we repainted in April, it's gonna have 4 coats of paint.
No, I mean, the number of coats that they completed is
Yes,
the same as what we originally contracted with them to do.
2 coats,
I see.
plus a primer, because that Northwood wood needs to be primed a certain, that gives it its 50-year lifespan.
And it came free,
They had it all primed and painted in the factory.
but then there's no, so our contract, even though they fasten it and nail it to the wall, the original architectural and bid for the design didn't have any paint on. They weren't doing any painting after the fact, just the original.
No, the whole bid included a specialized primer and 2 coats of paint. And it was all painted inside the factory and all put.
It was painted in the factory, but then there's no on-site, Woodbridge hasn't done any on-site.
They didn't
On the
need to,
wall.
everything was painted already.
We're talking about nail holes, aren't we?
Yes,
So the finishing part of that is gonna, yeah, so what happened on that part of it was when they started to tack it up, what the engineers called for, RMC called for, the contractor said, no, that's not gonna work. We
Which
need to do a
was-
different type of nail.
Okay.
And so RMC agreed, and so they went and hit all the nails. And they're like, okay, so, there's a lot of nails.
yeah,
Do your crew want to get them? And we're like, no, we can't reach up that high, right? We have specialized ladders that go all the way up to the top of that building. And then it came out like, we don't like this color. the finish did not, we thought a flat would work, it did not work in that marine environment. So we just decided that when they come back, we're gonna have them repaint the building.
And
And
they
then-
is Woodbridge?
No, there is some contract with Woodbridge.
So they is a contractor that hasn't even been here. So they're not coming back. It's a new contract for a painter.
It's a subcontractor through Woodbridge. So we signed this bid through Woodbridge.
Yeah.
We said, give us a bid to repaint the building, because it was on us.
Okay,
So they said, okay, here's our bid, here's our sub we're gonna use.
okay,
It was only like 30 some odd thousand. I was like, I'll take that.
Okay.
Cause all they do is come back and power wash and they can just paint. They're gonna cover not only all the little nail holes, but they're also gonna hit some of the trim that's up there that was a change order. That wasn't in the original.
so they're
You're
gonna,
opening up a can of worms. This is gonna go on forever.
well, I'm just confused. You said they're gonna cover up the nail holes, but are
Right.
they gonna paint the whole building?
Yeah.
Because it's a different paint, or a
Right.
different color.
They're gonna repaint the entire building.
Yeah.
With more of a satin, and it's gonna be a barn red that we already tested out.
Okay.
We actually have a paint color and type at Sherwin-Williams that is named after the Coupeville. We
So
went ahead.
satin is kind of partway between a dull finish
Yeah,
and a shiny.
yeah, we
finish.
chose a flat, and it was
Did.
It was wrong.
Did.
yeah, it didn't work out well,
It
so.
sucks up the light, a flat just sucks up the light and gives you nothing back. It's-
Well, people rub up against it with their elbow and didn't work.
I guess the main point I'm trying to get to here is when I was originally understanding what this bid and job was for. I thought it was gonna include all of the painting that was necessary. And now we're paying for an additional bid to get it painted, so. that there's-
Repainted.
Sure, I mean, yeah, it's already
Yeah.
red, but there's nail holes everywhere, like, doesn't that have to be, was that was the original design of how they spec'd it, was it's gonna?
No,
have-
it's like I just said, the original design was not correct. RMC gave them a nail to use. The construction company said, no,
So that.
this is not going to work.
The original nail wouldn't have needed to be painted over on site,
The original nail would have been painted, but it wouldn't have been as many of them. Now there's like these little nails that just go everywhere, all the way up, these columns.
and so the idea was that the siding would come pre-painted. And you nail it up and then just put a little touch-up paint
Yeah.
on all the nails.
Yeah, and they changed the nail, went to a different nail type,
So
and
now
probably
they're more-
doubled the amount of
more
nails that are on there. We're like, oh crap, this is not the color we thought it was going to be, the wrong finish. We said, give us a bid to come back later. We'll close this out, because you gotta get paid. We'll just close this out. It'll still be under IDD. We still have IDD funds. And we asked them for a bid to come back and we can repaint it. for
So
us.
the good news is it gives us an opportunity to get a different finish. That's what I'm hearing too.
Sure,
Yeah, we did. We went with the wharf red in a satin finish.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna look beautiful.
yeah, I mean, it's hindsight's always 20/20, but
Sure.
it seems like. If we would have made some different choices earlier, we wouldn't have had to pay another $30,000.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
I'm just trying to
Nothing
understand,
ever is smooth.
I guess I was trying to understand if that was a Woodbridge
No, it was a Portic.
thing happen, or that was.
It was, when the color got up there, by the time it. Cause they brought all these piles of wood, they were already painted, and by the time they started putting all this together, we're sitting back there and going, that looks purple.
Yeah,
It doesn't look right.
yeah, I agree, I don't like. that.
No one liked it, we didn't like it, and then we looked at the finish, it was starting to become bleed out. Where there was this white film that was just coming out of it, and we didn't know why. And so we brought in other painting companies to take a look at it. And they were like, oh, I see this all the time with flat paint, you shouldn't use flat paint. We're like, okay, uncle. All right,
Yeah,
so we got the right paint coming, so
And paint is, the more coats of paint you have, the more.
you'll have four.
Longer.
Oh, yeah, it'll have four plus four.
So that's an investment for longevity of the next. time.
Yeah.
Paint
Yeah, absolutely,
buys a couple.
and it's right down the street, like we're right down here at Sherwin-Williams and Freeland. All the paint that we use is right down there labeled for us, so you know that for future generations, they'll have that color on forever.
Is there any leftover paint that can be for touch up if somebody scrapes or
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
will maintain?
Not of the stuff now, because we're gonna repaint it, but that was all worked into the deal beforehand. All the window trim, the door trim, all of the paint that's used on the project.
Mm.
We demanded that they have us all the brand type, the color, the PMS color, the numbers, everything. And then we'll buy a gallon of each or a 5 gallon thing of each and we'll just keep it on hand. Yeah, no worries at all. Oh, yeah, those are things that we thought about early on.
Practical question. Where is all this information being kept and where is paint? Where do you keep this stuff?
Well, the paint-
How, in 10 years, if somebody wants this information, where will they have to go?
well, all this is on our drive, it's on our network, and it's
on-
also in binders.
And they are,
We do everything electronically here as well as in paper format. So there's big binders upstairs in Mary's office.
good,
It
that's
has
all,
all.
that's all I
The
want to
pile
know.
and cap, they've got those big 3-inch binders, there's several of those.
Great.
Lord, yeah.
Stuff happens with information too,
Yep.
it gets tidied up.
Yep, no, and everything is saved
And
electronically. We
this
have,
is important stuff to make sure it's always available.
yep, if you ever want to sit down, I'll take you through the network and I'll show you where all these thousands of files are located.
Thank you,
No, and then and then the network's backed up in 2 different ways.
great,
It's backed up to the
Really?
cloud, it's also backed up to a hard drive that I do physically every 3 days.
thank you.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it on the envelope repair. We do have some other things that we are doing. I want you guys know about it. We're gonna be replacing all the handrails that run around the entire wharf, all the way up the causeway around the entire building. We're replacing the top 2 levels of the handrails. We're actually asking for a grant from EV's, the Friends of EVs to help pay for that right now. So we applied for that grant. Wait to see what happens. Either way, we're gonna replace it. We have pulled up, this is our own crew, we have pulled up the boards that were, when you walk out the back set of double doors onto the back deck, you guys go out there, you'll see those are all really dark colored wood. We actually pulled all those boards up, replaced all those with brand new wood. The boards that we pulled up were in excellent shape, old, but in excellent shape, and we used those to replace boards around the back deck area that have completely rotted through. So that's an ongoing process.
Why did those get filled up? Rich?
Because the decking that was, the ramp that was sitting on top of it was completely rotted out. And we need to rebuild that.
Replacing that.
Yes, we pulled it up and I said, you know what, guys? We're gonna build this ramp back on here. Let's just put all brand new wood. And we were planning on replacing a lot of the wood anyway. So we did all that in-house. They replaced all that. They pulled all that out. They replanked, they rebuilt the ramp. Now I gotta order some metal grating for it. They replaced the planks that are out in the back. Some of them were literally big holes that had water all the way through. And they'll continue to do that. They'll continue to pull from one area, put in brand new wood and then replace others. The handrails and then also all the lighting around the entire structure, going all the way down the causeway, all those goosenecks lights. We're waiting to hear back from the manufacturer. We feel that those big poles that come out are in great shape. And Jeff and Danielle have been looking at all of them. We want to replace the hood and the light system. So we're trying to get a bid on that. We're gonna do all that ourselves. And we'll replace all of the lighting.
LED lights in there? Instead of.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll ask Danielle. I don't know. I know they can take LEDs, but I don't know if we'll do LEDs. I'm not sure yet.
We'll have to look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
it can reduce the energy consumption.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then.
Try to be as
But
dark sky
sometimes
compliant as we
the
can.
color, you gotta be careful when you get one that
Yes.
doesn't purple or whatever.
Yeah, or tan or
Yeah.
bright white. I hear you.
Yeah.
We'll definitely look at that. We just want to see if we can, we know we can buy the whole light fixture from them.
We're
But
trying to save
we don't
money.
need it. Yeah, so I think Danielle and Jeff are working to actually precisely measure the threads and the diameter, the ID and the OD of the diameter of the pipe and seeing if we can just slap on new lids on the end. And of course, we'll always order extra complete units in case one comes off and from all the lighting on the building will be replaced by us. And then right now, included in this project is we have 5 of the 10 cameras installed. The other 5 get installed tomorrow with the new alarm.com security system out there. It's the same system we have here. I can put Murray on it. I can put Danielle on it and we can all control it through our cell phones. Be able to,
Or had a contract with Retail. Right?
that's what they're doing it.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, it's separate. I say it's a part of this project because it's all included in the envelope repair, so it's an
Yeah.
IDD driven project. But yeah, they'll finish up tomorrow.
You said it's alarms.com.
They use alarm.com.
That's just their sub.
That is their cloud-based recording system they use. So it's a different vendor. But I've been familiar with these guys for 15 years. Alarm.com's been around a long time. Smart home technology, very easy to use, very good interfaces.
I've got a question about the war. What's the heat source for the common area in the middle?
It's all electric. It's all electric.
Because I was there before 9 AM last week one day. It was open early
Mhm.
and it was toasty warm in there. I was surprised to find it so very warm.
Common area.
In the common
lobby?
Skeletons above.
The lobby.
Yes,
Yeah, so those are those baseboard heaters, those high efficient baseboard heaters that we're gonna be putting in the cafe part. We're gonna take out that wood fireplace. We're gonna replace it with an electric fireplace for ambiance. We're gonna remove that stack above and connect it to it. And then we're gonna put in 5 of those baseboard heaters.
What about a heat pump? Cause
The
they're
problem,
way,
the
way
problem,
more, they cut the power compared to resistance electric. heat
they
pump.
do, but the heat pump requires, if you go out and look at that big giant unit, so where you're
Yeah.
gonna put it. And we already had guys come in like, I wouldn't do this for you. They were telling, don't do it.
Just because there's not a good spot. for it.
what's
Ugly
it
as
cost
crap.
to keep
It
it
just,
heated?
what's that?
What's the cost to keep it heated in the winter? Monthly, do you have a monthly charge?
No, but I mean, we pay for the lobby to be heated, but all the individual units pay their own electric.
Okay, and they all have baseboard, right? whatever.
Right now, yes, there may be some stray wall heaters in there somewhere, but when we do the baseboards in the cafe, for instance, we're pulling those wall heaters out. Because those things are ridiculous, they're worthless.
So back on the LED question, is there any concern about light pollution coming off of those lights? You know,
But whenever we do on those, the hood's the hood, so we try to stay dark sky compliant as best we can. But Martin's right, you got, like, there are these bulbs that I just bought from Costco that are awesome. You can literally screw them in and flip a switch up in the light bulb to get whatever spectrum you want. It is super, super cool. You want bright white, you can have like a dentist office, you can have it. If you want yellowed, you can do it. So I'll work with Danielle and find out what we're capable of doing.
So those are 24 hour or
No,
a timer?
they come on a cell, so when it's dusted on type of thing. Yeah, we don't leave them on. Yeah, so that's just gonna be an ongoing thing. The employee restroom, Jeff got that finished before Muscle Fest, and then the office is still being done, but that's all been in-house. So any other questions on the envelope repair?
Yeah.
Martin, anything else you think of?
you can circle back, you'll think of something.
I think we should follow up a little with the energy cost. If we're paying for the heating for the lobby, that should be most of the electric bill.
No, because you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 different units. The office doesn't take much to heat because it's so small. But
But you said the units are paying their own,
yeah,
so we could look at our port electric bill. And that would be most of that bill's heating, or we could look at it in the summer and assume that. If we want to figure out.
we don't turn them on in the summer. In the wintertime, we definitely turn on the heaters in our little office.
Yeah.
And we do turn on the baseboard heaters. I'm not sure who cranks those up in the morning, whether it's June getting there early or if it's one of the tenants getting there early. I'll talk to Danielle, but it shouldn't be like hotter than heck when you walk in there. It should be like 68, 70 degrees.
Well, it was,
And if that's significant cost. Yeah, I mean, we had electric resistance heat. Up until 2 years ago, and we got a heat pump in. And it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
there's
there's
a
a
big difference.
yeah, and
Well,
the power,
that's
the
what we
power,
had here. We never had heat in here. This was our heat.
the power is like less than. It's
Sure.
like-
Yeah.
So we can costed out.
Well, see, that,
The boxes aren't that big, they can mount on the back, they can mount onto a wall, they can mount on a roof, they can mount on a little corner, like on the back side of the roof.
Well,
one of the things I've always been concerned about is operational costs that have never been put together to see how it compares to the rental charges we're giving for all kinds of things. We've never really known how much we're making that,
Yeah,
and that
honestly,
doesn't strike me as good business
Like
practice.
which of our spaces are profitable? which-
Yes, exactly. That's information
or
that will be
break even.
very helpful in the future to make sure that this port and the board continue to operate. We can't continue to subsidize tenants without even realizing it.
I don't think we're not subsidizing anybody at the wharf. They're all got meters. We give them their meter reading and we bill them appropriately.
But I'm just talking.
Here in Barnet, that's an issue. but
There's a
we're
lot of-
solving that.
There's a lot of opportunities for tenants at the port that I've never seen separated down. It's a question of having the information plainly presented to the board. That's. Okay,
Well, I thought we do get that presented. Don't we have like on our budget, we show.
Yeah, it shows
shows
all
on our
the,
Annual budget.
it shows all the revenues and expenses for each of the three properties.
And utility collecting from the tenant
Mhm.
on our budget.
Yep, it is. It's all in there. I tried when I first got here to allocate. So our biggest cost is labor, right? So when I first got here, I was trying to get Donna to allocate. What is the labor costs for everybody at the wharf compared to everybody at the Green Bank Farm compared to Port of Coupeville? Because you have three entities. You got the farm, the wharf, and you got Port of Coupeville. You've got administration. What part of my job is at the wharf? What part is, and then it was. I got shot down by Donna and then by Bork. So I was like, I want that detail. I want to break it out. I mean, are we making money at the Green Bank Farm? Are we making money at the wharf? I mean, but. So I haven't thought about
the
that.
accounting makes it difficult to track because of the formats that are used. But that's another story, and I don't really want to get into that right this minute, as we are up to perhaps the bulkhead.
And we've got
Repair
about
project.
eight more minutes before. we have
We've
to
got
go.
a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take care of the bulkhead.
Yeah, the bulkhead, so there's two different parts of this project. You have the bulkhead, and you have the stairs on the other side of the causeway. Because we're inside the fish window, February 15th to July 15th, we cannot work on the stairs. We told them we do not want to wait until July 15th to get the bulkhead fixed. So we had the owner of the company come out and meet with Mary and I. And we met and we looked at the bulkhead. We weren't happy about the amount of land we lost at the top. But he assured us that the bulkhead was put back in a very solid way. They have a plan. He said, we have a plan for this. We'll come back. Here's what we're gonna do. I believe it's gonna be on the 24th of March or April, I can't remember. Commercial fire, because the main fire suppression pipe has been bent down and burned down one of our compressors, which is all covered by insurance. They are gonna be here on the day that sea level comes in. They're gonna unbury that pipe. They're gonna undo that pipe. They're gonna put a brand new pipe back on. And then they're gonna finish the bulkhead within those few days. So that side of it will be done.
So the contractor's gonna be here, and the commercial fire's gonna be here the
Yes.
same day.
Same day. Yeah, and the reason we had to wait was there's a lead time. For that pipe, it's a specialized stainless steel pipe, has specialized flange, it has to be to spec and so,
So did they, just to get me up to speed, they already came out once and did some of the work, and they stopped work because of they noticed the fire pipe, or? they just
No,
didn't Get it all done. in
they
one
didn't
day?
notice the fire pipe, we did, when our alarm kept going off and off and off. I mean, we called commercial fire out there and they did a bubble test and said, yeah, things leaking.
But why didn't why couldn't they get it done all at once? Or,
You mean with,
cause they came out and fixed the bulkhead.
They came out, they took all the rock back out.
Yeah.
They rebuilt the bulkhead, the rock part itself.
Yeah.
And I forget what reason why they could not complete the job because they had to backfill it.
Yeah, there's still.
There was backfill and they had to pull their barge out. It was because what they wanted to do was originally was they got everything done. We were hoping to get the permit for the stairs. They were gonna run back, okay, wait for the permit for the stairs, come back out and do it all together. Then, because of a delay in permitting, which happens all the time, we hit the fish window. And they said, you know what, it's okay, we'll come back out and finish the bulkhead because that's not considered in-water work. We said, wait, we have a problem with our pipe. And that's how this second dance started.
Okay.
But we got it under control, we got sea level, talking to commercial fire, I keep Endurus involved, I even called a Zoom meeting to bring on Endurus to make sure that we're all good. And then when the pipe really started to fail and we burned out a compressor, got Endurus, they're like, yeah, no problem, it'll be covered. So you'll see some stuff come through here on commercial fire, that we'll be paying, but it'll also, if you ever look at the actual invoice, which you won't, it'll say reimbursed by Endurus, so all this stuff will be reimbursed.
And the compressors actually sit on the lower level of the Front Street building.
Yeah,
right?
it's in the basement down there.
Yes,
That's where the fire
actually
suppression system is.
You have to fill with the fire suppression with, not water.
No, it's with nitrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the nitrogen compressor keeps the pipes all pressurized. So it holds the water back basically. And then when it gets triggered, the compressor shuts off and the water just goes whoosh and starts putting out fire. So when there's a leak, that compressor goes, wait a minute, hold on, you gotta have so much PSI in that pipe, right? And it keeps going and going. And if the pipe really leaking, that compressor just keeps going and burns out. So that's what happened.
Okay, we've got 3 more minutes until our exec session. And,
I probably should wait on the dock repair because that one's hit a snag.
okay, can you give us anything about the farm pond?
Yeah, I can. The farm pond is on hold because we were told that that's a whole area for blue heron nesting. We finally found a biologist to come out, Mary did, and she walked the entire area and said there is no blue heron nesting here. So we have shot that back to the county. We followed up with the county now twice saying, come on, give us the permit, let's get this going. And they're like, yep, we got it, we know. And so they're just processing. Once that gets into place, then we'll be able to start the pond project.
Do we have a contractor lined up?
No, when I mean start the pond project, we can actually now start going out to bid, because we're not gonna do that until we get our permits.
When you say bid, you are not referring to the technical process that requires sealed bids. You are just using a general term, is that correct?
No, we go out for bid.
You
It's
do
a
get sealed bids.
$180,000 project. We go out and get bids. We follow the rules.
Sealed bids.
We go out and follow the rules of the small works.
What do you mean sealed?
When we did it. I was at a meeting where there were sealed bids presented for a project and the engineer had looked over them all and then
For your larger projects over a certain amount, we do sealed bids.
So that means they're not open to the public.
they're not open to anybody,
They're
to
not-
each other. So that they can't bid against each other. They just do a bid based on the specs.
Yeah, we keep all the bid confidential, no matter what we do.
Right.
We don't share bidding
Right.
information with anybody.
I'm just
Right.
aware from past experience that there is a difference between a bid for a project that is not required to be sealed. So that it's just a technicality.
Well, and the rules have changed since you. went
I
through it.
see, since we did a sealed bid for the war,
Yeah, oh yeah, rules have changed. We're in a different
Okay.
program now with the MRSC and the small works roster and the public works
so
process.
the dollar amount has
The
increased.
dollar amount, how our reporting is, how we use the roster has changed. Oh yeah, that's a whole
Okay,
different meeting. Yeah.
Well, we're up to 10:44.
Okay, we'll come back to 7.4.
Okay.
Hey, Tim, how are you? Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Hey, Tim, all right, let's get into
We want to read
You want to go ahead and read the executive
Yes.
session?
To discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation in which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party, when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency.
So we're gonna enter in the executive session at 10:45. It's scheduled for 30 minutes. If it's gonna run longer, I will exit the executive session and let the community know. Okay, we are going to extend the executive session for another 15 minutes. That would put us back out to 11:30 a.m. If we do not, if we need more time, I will come out and announce it once again. Thank you. Okay, we are permanently out of the executive session. Okay, I think we left off at 7.4, right? Commissioner Burr?
We're up to 7.4.
Yeah, we already talked about 7.5, so. All right, so the wharf dock repair project, that has hit a snag with none other than the National Marine Fisheries Services. People who delayed our wharf and pile project by 3 years.
Is that not, fisheries, is that part of NOAA?
Yes, it is.
And they're undergoing difficulties as far as,
Well, if that's the case, they've been undergoing difficulties for the last 15 years. So.
yeah, well, now they're gonna have no staff.
Now they're gonna have less people that we go did.
Yeah, so we've, Doug Thompson and I met with the NIMS representative last week. And we, in the pile and cap repair project, we had removed far more materials than we said we were gonna remove. And we were told at the time that we could bank that for a future project. We thought, great, we're gonna replace the dock at some point. This is fantastic. Well, they reversed their decision on that and said, no, you can't. The mitigation calculator they put out is just, it's just ridiculous. For us to remove 10 wood piles and replace it with 9 steel piles, the permitting cost is estimated to be about $112,000. Permitting, just from NIMS, not including the town, not including anybody else. Now, we need to move forward. So then there's this thought that if we go, we try to do is, and we try to get the mitigation points down. We want to be at 0 or negative, so the permitting cost is next thing. Right now, we're at mitigation points of over 80, and they usually come in about $1,200 of mitigation. So one of the ways that you can try to bring that down is we can try and go find a place somewhere close that has piles all stepped up, and we remove them from the water, we remove them from the coast.
There's one road here.
Yeah.
There's
Piles.
piles.
Yeah, so I'll take a look at that. So we found a spot that has a bunch of piles, and we're contacting the owner of the property, as well as the company, actually a towing company, that would come in and remove those, put them on a barge and ship them off. Trying to figure out what that's gonna cost, because if that brings our mitigation points down to 30,000 or whatever, but then the cost of that is 70,000, why do it? But I was also told that they are 1 to 2 years out from being able to do something like that. So at this point, we cannot wait for the dock to be replaced for a year or 2. It is way past its life expectancy. It gets beat up every winter. This winter, we lost 3 floats. We're trying to get one of them put back so we can keep one of the corners up, because we're going into our busy season, right? And every year we say to ourselves, this isn't gonna make another winter. So we gotta get this done. So I'm just letting the board know that, you know, the design of the float is done. It's gonna be a beautiful float. But there may be a huge permitting fee for this project, okay?
Sure.
The other thing that I want to let you know, and this is why I think this is extortion, is that this mitigation calculator is not, well, stay away from it. When they looked at the dock, and the dock is 20 feet, is like 20 feet wide, and then it goes in and it's very narrow. They refuse, they actually permitted the dock as if the whole dock was that goes all the way. And they refused to redo that as well. So, you know, they're difficult, and we're not the only ones going through this. Anacortes is working on permits that are over 3 years old, and Doug's frustrated because it's hard for him to do his job because NIMS just will not work with these in-water projects. So as it stands right now, we have tried every angle that we can think of. We're trying to look at areas to remove piles to lower the mitigation points. But at some point, we're just going to have to pay the mitigation fee to get this project to move forward. One of the things that I threw out there, which doesn't seem to be probably low risk or low probability it's going to go through, is I asked, can we please go ahead and replace the dock itself and replace the piles at a later time, so we can get the dock replaced? And they will not consider that two separate projects. So I then am going to get a meeting together with our engineer and discuss, all right, let's leave the damn wood in there. I mean, I can't believe it. They want to charge us $112,000 to remove creosote wood and replace it with steel, which is so much better for the environment.
Yeah,
In the same spot. We're not even extending the footprint. It's the same exact schematic.
yeah, what if we just leave the piles?
Exactly. So I am thinking that may be a way for us to go.
In the future, there may be
In the future,
different fees and we can revisit.
exactly. So that's one of the options that I'm looking at right now.
Okay, the option is leave it everything the way it is, or leave.
No, just,
Leave the pipe and put the new down.
so there's a minor hit, let me answer your question first. Leave the piles as they are and just replace the dock. Take out the wood dock, bring in the new dock.
Without a permit.
No, we need a permit for that. But we wouldn't be,
It's a different.
yeah. So when I asked Doug that question, and this is where this probably, which I thought was a good idea at first, he said, no, actually, Chris, after we got done talking with them, one of the things that shocked me was this mitigation calculator wasn't loaded like this because of the piles you were removing. It was loaded like this because you're replacing a dock. So I said, wait a minute, so.
Isn't it a better dock? Like that's.
Oh, it's far better.
But I mean, it can be
Yeah.
better for the environment.
Yeah, because you can let sunlight through
Yeah.
and they don't see it. It's like someone told me, their motto is, if you're doing in-water work, you're killing fish. And we don't want to do that. So I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. So even that idea may not work. He goes, no, if you listen to their tone and what they're pushing for, the mitigation calculator is really the bulk of those points are being applied to the dock itself, which I don't understand. We're getting rid of wood. The whole dock is wood. And we're replacing it with metal grading, which allows sunlight through, better for eelgrass. Anyways, it's frustrating, it's aggravating. We're not the only ones, doesn't make it any better. But I am gonna push forward if we cannot lower the mitigation points down in the next month or so, figure out a way to do that, then we need to push forward. We can't do it right now anyways, because we're in the fish window, February 15th to July 15th. So we need to keep pushing this forward. This is just one of those that we've got to get done. And as you know, as Danielle just texted me and said, we have floats underneath there that are full of foam. We have tires that they fill full of foam. And we're removing all of it, you know, with a kinder material. So I don't understand. I do understand, but I don't, you know, it's frustrating.
So
So
this has nothing to do with dredging, right?
nothing to do with dredging.
I,
Even though we're actually allowed to take out what's called maintenance dredging, we can actually take out like 300 and some odd square feet. It wouldn't even put a dent in what we need to do out there, so we're not gonna do that because it adds too much expense.
have any ports anywhere simply ignored the permitting issue or gone ahead and built something
Not that
without
I
a
know,
permit?
of. Not that I know. of. Not that I
I
know. of.
wonder what happens if you just go ahead and do
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, that's what's
it.
going on with the
Or
dock.
the other option,
It's
don't
actually
do
going
anything and we don't have a dock anymore.
eventually. Well,
Eventually it all floats.
yeah, and it lands up on the shore, right?
Be like,
Whatever.
Okay. So that's all I have for the dock right now. I'll keep you guys informed, but it is frustrating when it comes to permitting. It's
Do you
unbelievable.
have to have a permit to remove what's there now?
Yes,
Doesn't matter what you wanna
no
do.
matter what you do, they're going to demand that mitigation point calculator to be applied. If it's in water works, right? And I'm all for the idea of protection in our environment. I'm huge in support of NOAA, but you know,
Oh, my.
it's just, it really is, it feels like extortion. And I've had professionals say that to me as well, who are in the permitting business. Yeah, this is, you can't do anything. You cannot move forward. Even the Corps is like, good luck with NIPS. You're gonna have to get that approved. You're gonna have to pay that mitigation point.
What happened when the weather blew it apart? Or did you need a permit to clean up the mess?
No, when it keeps getting damaged, we file either insurance claim or we hire someone to come in and put it back together as best we can. Danielle has these locations around the cove where the floats usually end up. We try to go retrieve them. If they're still in good shape, we bring them back. We have one stored in the basement at 24 Front Street. And we're actually gonna use that one to try to pop up one of the corners. We have been just baling wire and duct tape in this thing for 3 or 4 years.
So if weather does something to the dock, we don't have to pay for a permit.
No, if you replace, you mean like damage it?
Well, anything, it sounds like if you walk on it, you need to have a light.
I think it would be a shame if that dock were to break up and float away and not get replaced. I mean, that brings tourism, we gotta think about the port as an economic driver, right? You know how many people that brings in, it's out of country, out of county money.
So we have a fueling dock too, right?
Yeah.
A little fueling dock, right?
Yeah.
And if you drop buoys into the water, you have to get a permit for that.
Drop what in the water?
Buoys that you can fasten on, buoys. Yeah.
Oh, well, the port had, mooring balls.
Yeah.
But they cost something like $2,800 a year to have them serviced. Where they come in and take out the chain, they service them, and it was dangerous for our staff, which was long, to go out there in a boat, chase people down for their moorage. And I ran the numbers with Donna when I first started and said, not only is it the cost of having the moorage balls every year, putting them there, taking them back, they were way out in the cove. And I thought, that's dangerous going out there to try to collect from these people who weren't paying, they're going tying up. And so it was one of the meetings early on. I said, we're just not gonna bring those back because of liability, right? So,
We don't run out on the morning like money.
Yes, we do.
They put in the envelope.
no, we run out there and we're a full service docks. We'll run out there, we'll meet them, we'll help them tie up their boats. We want to do that, John, because we want to manage the space properly.
Right. Double.
Yeah, rafting and triple rafting, absolutely, yeah. So Danielle didn't, her team doesn't sit up there and just collect envelopes there. When they see a boat coming in, they're down there. They're welcoming them to the dock, they're helping them with their dock lines, they know where to put them as far as their, what they draw. They know what the tides are coming up. So if you have a sailboat coming in with a 3-foot draw because their keel, this is where you gotta be. So they manage that very closely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways, that's the dog. I'll keep you guys posted on it. So,
okay, and we've already taken care of the pond.
yes, we talked about
Okay, so
that.
we move on to old business. The first item is 9.1 action, the resolution number 318. The executive direction delegation of authority, which we've worked on for a couple meetings now, and I.
Yeah, Chris had it reviewed by the lawyer and he liked it and made a few minor changes. Mainly that we're gonna do the study on rents and stuff, but the court's gonna retain the ability to just either use those numbers for, we'd still be able to maybe offer a discount, so there's somebody that we really wanted to have in there. We're not required to.
Yeah,
So that's the main.
Yeah, I think we, I think we pretty much done it and agreed.
Yeah, I like it,
Good
as
job.
written.
so we replaced the word will with may, just want to be clear. So
Yeah.
the port may use 5-year studies because committing the port, it
Right.
doesn't make sense to commit to ports, it's may use, and then like
It
Mark
could be
said.
sooner, it could be.
It could be sooner, it could be later, but
We have a lot of flexibility in what we can do, and for all the leases, the long term, just to go over it again, for short term, less than a year, month to month, Chris can do them on his, for long term. Leases, we would have to approve every individual lease.
Was that the most recent?
yes,
This is the official,
Yeah.
and let's remember, it won't always be, Chris.
True.
no, this can be modified anytime.
Yeah, and we can change it at any time.
Yeah.
If it needs adjustment,
Yeah.
it can get it.
And the
So-
other thing, that Tim pointed out was in the very beginning, the resolution, there is, about the ED's, ability to sell real estate. Tim just said, just have that reference the RCW, because
Yeah.
there's a,
Yeah.
now we don't have to worry about that, because we have no real estate.
Yeah.
But it was good just to clean that up.
But we had a dollar amount in there.
We had a dollar
Like,
amount,
Just
yep.
put the RCW,
Put the
but it could
RCW.
change.
Right.
So I'll move that we approve resolution 318 regarding the delegation of authority. For- Yeah, do we want to discuss some more about it?
Anything else to say? No, call for the vote, all in favor,
I,
unanimous approval, and we'll sign it.
Good job, you guys, and good job, Martin. You put a
Yeah.
lot of time into that, man,
Give it.
and in proofreading too.
One little detail I've always concerned me is when, the, page numbers don't say at the beginning, so many, so many. Because right now, my signature on page 10, and all we have on the last page is two signatures.
I don't think it's a big. Once you sign it, you need to sign it. You
It'll
got it?
all get scanned in and.
It'll all be scanned in as one document.
Okay,
Yeah, here we go again, huh? Yeah, it's just like that. There we go, perfect, thank you. Good job, guys.
don't you think it'd be nice if every page said what it was part of?
1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4.
And at the bottom of the, especially a blank page with three signatures on it, that doesn't say where it goes. What it is, I would really like it if on the bottom of every page of a resolution said resolution number 318 even.
Yeah.
And because that last page is just a piece of paper with three signatures on it.
Do you have a template for the resolutions? Maybe even, no?
No, we write them all according to what we're trying to accomplish.
That could-
It's just a formatting. I try to keep everything bunched together, but sometimes it's.
But couldn't every page at the bottom simply say the title again?
You can make a motion to that. effect. I'm serious, I'm kind of,
I know.
Like a header or a footer that says, just like, it could have a version number,
Footer,
a footer that has the page number out of how many pages.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
title of the document and like a version number. I mean, we can also just refuse to approve
anything without it.
resolutions until we like them.
We're not sitting
I
there.
don't know that you need a motion to like.
That's even when it's electronic. You look at the page.
Chris has heard our feedback and hopefully future resolutions will.
And if not, we'll have a motion.
We'll move forward with that idea.
There you
Good.
go. Okay.
Now, Green Bank Farm, barn A and B, barn B
Yeah,
roof
so-
replacement.
As you guys know, this was one of our capital projects, approved in the budget.
What I couldn't find is a dollar amount.
Oh, I'll show it to you. It's right down the front, it's all right. And it's also
Oh.
the contract page too. So this is for the replacement of the roofs for barn A and for barn B here. They're gonna be cedar, which is gonna be very cool.
Is that what they are?
No, they're your typical 3-tab.
Okay.
Murray and Mary did a lot of research and talked with the vendors and, what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull off all that old.
Asphalt.
I believe it's asphalt, yeah, it's just regular 3-tab.
Yeah.
Underneath, they have the 4x8 sheets, right, that you typically would have. Those are actually coming off as well, because how these cedar, shingles work is that they go right over the strats and run along, you can go look up on the inside of the barn, right? So I think the other day, was it Murray, that we are going to be releasing off that roof 40 pounds per every 10 square feet of that roof, we're gonna be taking weight off both the roofs of those barns.
And it is original too.
What's that?
It is original, or historical.
Yeah, it's
That's
it was all cedar shade. Yeah, it wasn't asphalt back in 1904. So they're gonna be beautiful. They're gonna be awesome. And I figured, since you guys signed the delegation of authority before we approve these, then I just want I will sign the contracts. I have that ability, but I would like for you guys to approve the winning bid, which is sitting here. There's barn A and barn B. You can see all the bids that came through. They are the winning bid. I have an arrow attached to it. So you can go ahead and make the motion to approve. And the great thing is, Creative Roofing Solutions, who we've already met with, won both bids. So, because these were pitched as two separate projects. They were not pitched as one.
So
But they must-
these shingles have to weather.
They are actually treated, thank you, good question. They are treated with anti-fire retardant. And they're treated with, what was the other thing, Maria? Not bugs. It was, anti-fire and
Anti-pest.
was,
Anti-pest.
I didn't think it was anti-pest.
Yeah. On fire, in it.
I know they were fire treated, but I didn't think it was anti, because I thought I asked them.
What
But
about
anyways,
the color?
they're just gonna be a natural cedar, just like, look at the ones on 24 Front Street.
Yeah.
We did the same type and just a natural cedar coat.
Okay,
So,
so we don't need to approve these.
I'd like you to approve. You don't need to sign.
Okay.
So that's why I gave you like to approve the,
And I made a motion that we approve the Coupeville Farm, Barn A and Barn B roof replacement contracts.
given to Creative Roofing Solutions. Creative Solutions.
Creative Roof Solutions is the name.
To creative contracts to Creative Roof Solutions.
Yep.
Is that on both of them?
Yep. Yeah, they won both bids. Thank God.
We have a second.
Yes, I second that. I actually read it when it was sent by email. I got halfway through. And then I just looked at the headings.
Yeah, that's great. And they are actually, they get these cedar shades from Canada. And that's where they're treated, thank you. And so they are already, yeah, exactly. So they're already slotted to get it done tomorrow. Because they won the bid. So now it's approved. Did you guys approve it, by the way?
We didn't vote on.
I think you voted on
All
it.
in favor of approval of these two contracts?
Aye.
You let them know. Yeah, let them know, Marie. They're actually gonna start treating them tomorrow.
Ah,
So they beat the tariffs.
good.
So just with the delegation of authority and your approval to do this with or without commission approval, trying to remember what we just agreed to. But because
Right.
this was on the capital budget that we already approved,
Yeah, the project was.
you're allowed to go through with projects that are already approved on the budget, as long as it's not over the budget by a certain amount.
Yes, so I didn't need your approval on the project.
Yeah.
Because you guys already approved that. What I wanted to get was just your approval on the contract. Entering in
The
a
contract with that particular vendor.
Yes, for these particular amounts, because when you add up, they are separate bids. You're looking at 154,660 and 85,690. That's gonna go over by 10-15% because they have to replace all that fascia up there. And
And that's part of the bid.
that is part, yep. So,
So hopefully they won't go over and we'll just meet their bid.
yeah, I'll tell you, Martin, been doing this for a while. I would love for us to have a project that comes in like that. It just seems like we always find something, man. But anyways, thank you. All right, we're looking at probably getting that done.
Okay.
They have to get the 2-week lead time. I think they were looking at doing it around April.
Right.
But we had to give them event dates, so they want to work around the event dates.
Yeah, which we did provide.
Yeah, so Barn B will be done pretty quick. And they've been doing this a while. We really like them. They also have experience in working with cedar. We had a local roofing company, Reds, we thought were gonna bid on this, but they did not want to, I don't know if they were certified to do cedar or not, but they've done many of these projects, so
They had great references.
they had great reputation and a good L&I record too. All right, that's my
Okay,
point
let's
too.
move
Thank
on
you.
to number 10, commissioner reports, and I think you wanted to make a report.
Well, only in the sense of the is that, the commissioners stamped the Muscle Fest Port of Coupeville, table. So now I'm actually would like to hear, from everybody, how well it went. I mean, anecdotally, I think 2/3 of the people, at least I talked to, off island, they were visiting, and coming from Bellingham and Everett and Bothell, you name it. There were people on island, in mostly Oak Harbor, and only a couple of people that were from Coupeville, our actual tax district. What I was hoping for is a chance to engage with actual people,
Voters.
voters. And, that didn't really happen. So I'm just curious how your perception, did we move the needle relative to district taxpayers?
I didn't ask people, sometimes it came out in the conversation, but I didn't necessarily ask them where they lived, whether they lived in that district or not, but I feel like at least half of them that I talked to were Coupeville people. Yeah, seemed like it.
Did you, introduce yourself as a commissioner?
I had my cards, I was handing out cards.
I think anytime we're out in the public is positive. It's very
Yeah, that was
positive. I was
Good,
glad to have
except
the
the
opportunity.
temper on my head.
Despite the difficulties with the weather, I think it was worth it. And just, that was sort of breaking the ice for us, doing that sort of thing, and we might have the opportunity in the future to do similar things.
I kind of wonder if having just a cardboard table at the entrance to the causeway with a little sign is talk to me, not at all. Just occasionally one of us stamps that as a chance to interact with taxpayers, as opposed to this event that's had an awful lot of off-island people.
Of course, with the election coming up this year and 2 commissioners who hope will run for a space on this board, we certainly don't want politicking in. Any,
Doesn't need that, it just needs to more about identifying needs in the community. What do as we finish the difference, the broadband, the envelope, the bulkhead,
oh, I know,
what do they see as what we should be working on next?
they're there for fun, they're not there for questions.
I mean, I think, like, you can look at what some county commissioners do, like Melanie Bacon meets with constituents, has a standing meeting where she's
Yes.
sitting at a place and people
Yes.
come and talk to her about things that are going on. And, any of us could be free to,
We
Do
can
that
do
as well.
that anytime we want to.
Obviously, I'm seeing a lot of people here and I'm seeing a lot of people online. So that brings the question about, why are people not excited to learn more about the port? That's where I'd like to figure out.
Because you're not out there beating your drum, you gotta go out
there and get people excited.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I think Juan's out there the most out of all you.
Well,
He's out there now at COG and IRTPO,
Yeah.
and he's been beating the drum for 9 years.
Excited about local government.
Yeah.
but That's a cultural question, I guess.
It's not the center of my wine parties.
Festivals we have here at the farm, you should come down and talk to people.
Why me?
Well, because you're the one that brought it up.
Well,
Encourage
and
you.
actually, that's a good point. That if you have a spur of the moment need to join one of these festivals and be even like that, it'd be nice that we have a consistent message. That we're not to muzzle anybody, but to say that we get the same, information out in front of people that
Yeah.
explains the purpose of the port.
Oh, you know what I say?
yeah, I just,
I'm so glad to see you. So happy to have you come and enjoy yourself. That's what I say. I don't try to sell anything. I
Yeah.
just let them know I'm glad to see them and enjoy yourself.
I don't think our role is to have necessarily a unified message. I
No.
think if you think about the county commissioners or senators or other elected officials, do they all get together and have a consistent message? No, I mean, we can have our own independent
There's
messages.
one party.
So I don't think we need to consolidate. It's-
Okay.
Hey,
By the way, the light bulbs along the causeway are LED.
Oh, they already are.
Yeah. Dale and Danielle's been on listening and
Great.
I think a good portion of their LED.
That wharf area looks so nice.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And everything, it's been, I have to admit. I hadn't been out to the wharf since before COVID.
Yeah.
And I found out, I asked about benches, don't need benches, that railing between is the perfect height. If we wanna take a break,
If you're on the lower-
anybody could sit on that and not get in the way.
Well, it's getting pretty late. I had an agenda item.
I'm ready queued up for it if you want.
I might just put it on an agenda for the next meeting or something.
Whatever you want to do, I have it ready to go if you just want to share real quick.
Let's just do it now. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. I just want to talk about some things that I've been going to, and I have some, like a little photo slideshow that I wanted to introduce. Just some show and tell for
Oh,
things I've been going to, related to this grant that we applied for, the
Yeah.
Rural Business Development Grant, which would, pay us to plan and design, some agricultural infrastructure here on Green Bank Farm. And so I wanted to give some examples of, what that looks like, or might look like in other places, kind of shared use, small business and agricultural infrastructure. So you go to the next one. This is, so in, a few weeks ago, I went to the San Juan Agricultural Summit on Lopez Island. And I took a workshop, describing this. One of the sessions was at this Taproot, community kitchen on Lopez Island. And so I just wanted to kind of show what it looks like. That's their website. And, you can. So it's for private individuals, and businesses can rent this space, for $15 an hour. It's run by a nonprofit, but there's no reason that a port couldn't run something like this. In fact, the Port of South Whidbey runs something exactly like this. They have a community kitchen down the fairgrounds.
Oh, I thought they were out of it.
No, they're definitely,
Oh. Talk to this. Because
Goosefoot's trying to start their own.
yeah, okay.
The
Okay.
Port of South Whidbey.
They still have
runs
one
the
over there.
fair.
Okay.
Goosefoot's not involved in that. at all.
Got it. Okay.
But there are several businesses that operate.
Isn't there one in Ken's Corner, like a commercial kitchen that you can rent space in Ken's Corner?
Maybe a private.
Let's close when the new owners came in, I believe. Yeah.
yeah,
But I'm just saying this is something that boards can do. And this is an example of a nonprofit.
I was under the impression that the kitchen that the Tide people use at this time was initially installed under a grant for a community kitchen, but things changed.
I don't know.
Jim Gunn was running the wine shop and the pie shop, so, or at least the pie shop.
I've heard that, but the grant, I don't know.
That is a possible space, and I'm in conversations with Goosefoot. About that space, possibly being
That
something
it was
like that.
designed as a community kitchen.
Okay. So can we go to the next
Well, it
one?
was designed as a commercial kitchen, but
Yeah, and then it just ended up being exclusively used by Good Time.
I don't have any
Next slide, sorry.
documentation, that's just talk.
So this is just
Great
some
facility.
photos of the equipment that they've got, some big commercial fridges and some of the specialty. That thing up in the upper left is for like filling bottles with hot sauce, which one of the people there has a hot sauce business and you get that. There's
How do
apple
they handle-
quarters.
How do they handle cleanup between users?
I think people have to clean up after themselves or get charged fees. And it's the same, it's not like a random person each week, it's, these are
It's
people
a
that run
schedule.
businesses and they book out time.
As I look at all of that and I see work to clean it up.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely work to organize it and have all the people, schedule all these people and customer service, collect
Yeah,
all their money.
Yeah, what about the equipment? It's
Figure out what equipment they need, there's a labeling, there's a freeze dryer.
Does this give small business the opportunity then to have an approved kitchen in order to
Exactly.
make?
This is an approved commercial kitchen where you can do these things, you're not allowed to do these. in
So
a home
they,
kitchen.
right, so
So-
it could be a baker, it could be a jam and jelly person, it could
Yeah,
be anything.
exactly. The other alternative is to lease a space by yourself, buy all this equipment by yourself, and then launch your business
This could
that
be-
way. So this is a lot more affordable way for you to launch a small business. And the guy who did the hot sauce, the founder, or you can go to the next one, actually, there's something, I think there's a timeline. So then they have a walk-in freezer, a walk-in cooler, and a couple other coolers that are currently in use by different people renting out the space. Yeah, so this is just kind of to show you that this started like 10 years ago, and they've been working on improving it, getting grants, spending money, they have staff now. But one of the people that was involved in the creation of it is that hot sauce guy. And for a time, he was, he launched his business there, became somewhat successful, and then started using a co-packer, which is like just a private company that'll basically make it for you if you ship all the ingredients and they'll label it and they'll basically do all this for you. So it was kind of an incubator for his business to get launched. And he was like a carpenter, he wasn't like a business guy, he had a lot of money. So he was a success story. And they got another grant, they got an RB, the 2023 one, Rural Business Development Grant, which is the same one that we just applied for. So they got one in 2023, and they're gonna add, the next slide, they're adding this whole second room, which is gonna have a bunch of cooking facilities with a range hood. It's probably gonna be hooked up to the fire extinguishing and all this other cooking equipment is gonna be in this room. So
Do the individuals get leases at their time, or is it like a timeshare?
like, I'm sure they have to sign some agreement of what they're gonna do,
Because of course,
but I don't think it's a lease.
it all works if everybody makes it work. All you need is one bad apple in the barrel.
Well, I'm sure they've had some bad apples in 10 years, but it's still going.
Yeah, right, it takes people who really care.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
So this is a different
Really care.
example. This one is at the Puget Sound Food Hub, which is in Mount Vernon. And this is more what I was kind of envisioning, which is strictly for a farm use. It's not for producing value added goods, hot sauce or anything. It's not a commercial kitchen. This is just for washing and prepping vegetables. Well, I wouldn't even say prepping. It's not for cutting vegetables, which would be, you can't make like salads.
But you could clean them to
You
put
can
them
clean
in.
them to sell them to restaurants or retail.
There used to be somebody on the south end of the island called Sunrise Foods. That raised salad greens and would sell them to high-end restaurants in Seattle area. Cause I ran across them and they were looking to expand. They wanted and they had like food houses. They wanted to get into a sunnier part of the island, growing veggies. And I think they approached me when I was at ETC and helped them. On the piece of land is they talked to a realtor, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, well, the port has one, and we rent it out to farms.
Yeah.
So, but what we don't have is a place for the farms to wash and store and pack their vegetables. And that's what this is an example of that. On the upper right, that's a big walk-in cooler. And they have their bins on the lower right that they can harvest into and then bring them here and then use these slatted tables, put the vegetables on there, spray them down. It's not that complicated. They can drive a truck up to the back of this, load in to make deliveries and.
Does Would Be Grown have anything like that?
No. I don't know of any, you know, shared use facility like this on the island. Viva Farms in Mount Vernon. I haven't seen theirs, but they have multiple farms there, so I'm sure they have a shared washing facility.
So,
Because that's a fun incubator.
You're such a little kind of farm stand.
Yeah, I've been there all the time. Yeah, they have facility to wash their own vegetables, but it's not, yeah, like every farm has some.
Okay.
To wash the vegetables or their muddy,
but Green Bay,
but ours does not. Yeah, so, and if you're an individual farm, it's a little simpler. You can just build it exactly the way you want it. You're the only one using it. But if it's shared use, then you have to, you have to deal with bad apples and scheduling and making sure everybody's happy and meeting the needs of a bunch of different farms.
how many farmers does Green Bay Farm have right now that would be able to use it?
Oh, that might use that? Maybe only 3
You patch people.
bee patch people could, yeah, if you wanna add them, that's another 20 or whatever, but yeah.
They probably wouldn't rent this, but they could use it.
Yeah, we'd have to pick out the days of the week and the different needs, and so the first part of this grant, if we get it, is gonna be a needs assessment, going around and talking to the different farmers and seeing who would need it, and part of the reason I'm into this is because we don't currently have a lot of people that need one of these, because we don't have one. They can't run a farm business here if
Chicken
they
egg.
needed that, yeah, so if we build something like this, then we can attract more farm businesses that might use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And none of it's super fancy, it's just some tables and hoses and concrete floor, and so it doesn't have to be that expensive compared to.
And that would be located on the farm property.
Yeah, my vision was kind of like right at the entrance where you get a vehicle to it, but also close to the farm, so in between this parking lot and the farms.
If it's on ag land, we have a 1,500 square foot, we have to go back to the ordinances, but we have
Yeah,
a limit
there's some regulations
on what we can do.
on this.
Now, if we decide to build something like this in place of the caretaker cottage, then we could build it to the scale that Mark is looking at. But we're very limited to what we can build for
1,500
non-permanent.
square feet.
But I think they also break that up, Martin. I don't think it's actually a 15 square foot pad, it's broken up. I have to go back and read that.
Do you have one of those things at your farm, at your home?
We use I have a wooden table that's just like this big with slats in it. And then I use a hose and yeah, I'm building, we have a cooler or stuff.
So even a small producer like you can take care of it at home. So this would be only for farms on the property here?
We could, depending on demand and need, we could, like that, the one at Puget Sound Food Hub, that farm wasn't there, they truck all their stuff there.
Okay.
One somewhat large farm is renting the whole space, and they truck their stuff there and wash
So
it,
that's
and then that is attached to the Puget Sound Food Hub, so most of their,
Hmm.
so they're selling their products directly to the food hub, so it's convenient for them to just bring it there, wash it, pack it, and then it's already at the place that it's gonna go.
So how, if we had one, who uses it would evolve over time?
It could, yeah, I sort of like the commercial kitchen, I'd want it to be flexible where it could accommodate, different types of farm businesses and different types of different scales, yeah.
Could be that the commercial kitchen becomes this as well. It has full storage, it has water supply, it has sinks,
Yeah,
it needs modification.
it's a little more of a muddy process, it's like, you wanna kind of be able to hose down the walls.
And that's a good point, we don't want that going into our septic system, that's a
Yeah.
really good,
It doesn't have heat or it doesn't?
Usually not.
usually not.
I just thought about people wanting to wash their dogs there.
So,
That would get a lot more interest.
so
You don't have a lot of crop
one of
in the
the
dead of winter.
online feeds I'm getting is about hydroponics.
I see all your Japan.
Because I've been sending it to Chris and, thinking if he shares that to you,
Yeah,
you're the farmer.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't do any hydroponics and I don't know anybody that does hydroponics.
Oh.
But see a lot of it online.
Yeah. I just want to eat the stuff. I don't want to throw it.
Yeah.
Okay, have we got any,
But the problem is those people.
I think our reports and.
Yeah, I just wanted to introduce that
Yeah.
and show you some,
Thank
what
you.
it looks like, and, you know, I'll be continuing to develop those ideas and see what happens.
Yes, I like the way that reports and discussions sort of meld together when we're
It's kind of,
having it, unless there's something different for number 11 commissioner discussion.
Do we need to identify the future workshop?
Ah, okay, what have you got?
Well, I think, you know, I told you this, with talking to Don about how do we document the taxes that people pay, how that is actually benefit the community dollar-wise. You know, through, you know, staff, you know, get compensated. They buy groceries, they pay sales tax, that sales tax, a certain percentage goes to rural county economic development funds, which then go back to the community for doing. If we could actually be able to look all those taxpayers in the eye and say, yes, you're paying taxes, but this is what's coming back into the community to your benefit. It's almost like a pro forma financial analysis. How do we go cost to the taxpayer, benefit to the taxpayer in an actual dollar sense?
That's someone's worthwhile process, but I don't quite understand how that would happen in a workshop.
Well, it's not gonna happen during a business meeting.
No, I mean, I don't understand how I as a commissioner would have the,
yeah, I think staff would have to kind of put something like that together on our website, and I think we have stuff like that in the scheme, or just to show all the project, the accomplishments, like port accomplishments. And like,
Yes.
look at these projects that have gotten done with your tax.
Yeah, so every year we update the comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. We have our capital improvement projects that you guys end up approving and doing that, as well as all the social media that we have out there. You guys saw the panels that we did just for the wharf. We
Yeah, history of the
Mary
wharf.
put those out.
Where are those going, those panels, where are they gonna end up?
We are gonna put them up somewhere for the July 19th 120th anniversary celebration. And then we'll figure out a place to put them up on a more permanent basis.
Okay,
Like inside.
Probably inside, yeah. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we have 4 or 5 interpretive panels going up at the entryway to the causeway and around the wharf.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been working with Dalva at the museum. And I think we've got our final design baked out. They look really great. And those will be installed here probably in the next 60 days or so. So we have a lot going on out there
Yeah, I think having
for
a lot of
education.
people that just walk by and they're just like, oh, this is just, they don't think about it. They just walk over it and they're like, this is pretty, but they don't really know what.
There's no history out there.
People don't know, like, oh, there's a port district, it's on your
Right.
taxes, and that's what owns this. Like, they don't even have that
No.
level of understanding. So it's nice to just.
that was addressing that, you know, they see their property tax bill, you know, and at the same time, where's the dollar benefit to the community as a whole? That person can say, yeah, I mean, you know, that's beneficial to me personally too.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I was trying to explore. How do we actually have a coherent message about, yes, you pay property taxes, but here's your benefit.
and it's difficult when you get too complicated, because then when you're talking to the public, a couple lines is better than a paragraph,
Right.
and way better than a page. And it sounds to me like you're talking about more than one page.
Well,
I don't think it's something that needs to be long and involved. I think people ask me, well, what's the port? Well, the port is the wharf in Greenbank Farm. We have events, we have vendors. We invite you to come. Some people think that the port is just a pain, because they don't even know that the port owns the wharf. They really don't.
no,
And somehow the connection is going to start coming much better now because of the rehab of the facilities. When you look at the work, it looks like someplace you'd like to visit. When you come to Greenback Farm with all the events, it's someplace you'd like to visit. I think it's happening over the last few years.
It's happening, especially at the farm, because this is such a small community, everyone knows pretty much owns it now, and then you got people that come up and walk. Right, from other communities that know who we are. The wharf is still interesting. I was at a volleyball tournament last weekend and one of the mothers was from Oak Harbor, was from Coupeville. Goes, oh, I heard her saying to the person next to her, I live in Coupeville and we drive all the way around. I was like, you're in Coupeville. I introduced myself, Chris, my daughter's there, and I work for the Port of Coupeville. We own the Coupeville Wharf. Goes, oh my gosh, you guys, that building looks amazing. And she didn't know it. And she's been there for 10 years. John's point is correct. You got to just keep with the education. But we have come a long way. That newsletter gets, again, consistent 56, 58, 60% open rate.
Now, when family and friends come to visit, the wharf is one of the places where they want to go.
Rules of farm, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, where are we at? We at 11 or?
No, I was kind of looking at our website, just, it does have. Talks about the wharf, talks about the farm. I mean, I think this information should be on our website. And then
What information?
what John's talking about, maybe, I mean, I think it is on our website, but the place for communicating with the public about where their tax dollars should go.
If they really care, they show up to a meeting.
What talks to me is the newsletter.
The newsletter.
The newsletter is fabulous, and if, for some reason, it gets complicated for people to sign up to get it. For some,
Really?
well,
Okay.
everybody I know wants a link, because they don't know how to do it. I'm, in that group. But you have to go through more than one, it isn't just get the
Sign up
newsletter.
for our Newsletter.
Well, you have to put in your name and
Yes, you
email.
have to,
And just.
yeah, but you have to
On
get
the
to
bottom of
that,
every page.
but you've got to get to that page. Well,
You should land on it when you.
Martha Stewart doesn't do that. She makes it easy to sign up for her website.
How could it be easier?
Okay, any more?
They got because they know where it came from.
No, we don't.
They don't.
If you visit our website, I don't know what your email address is.
Martha Stewart doesn't either.
Well,
You already signed up.
okay,
Where are we at?
but,
11, 12?
but could each month's newsletters be posted on the website?
It is.
So there's.
No, I mean,
there's a page.
the pages of it.
Might be
It's supposed to be
posted somewhere.
put into a PDF and given to Murray, and Murray posts them whenever she. Yeah.
Well, the website is very big. Very big, and it has a lot of good information. But learning how it works, every website works a little bit different. And if you don't go to one all the time.
So if you just go up at the top, look up there. Go up at the top and go about us and click on newsletter.
Okay, all right,
There you go. Look at all the newsletters, all of them.
okay, look at that page.
Here's,
Is that an easy page?
yes, it has literally 18, 19, 20, 21. It has 7 years worth of newsletters on it.
All I want is
Except for the last 6 months.
Where would you sign up?
Okay.
I think that's what she.
Yeah.
There
I know that.
much of difficulty in life is choosing. Yeah,
We're
you,
gonna
you,
update that, Murray.
you young people don't understand the difficulty of.
But if you go to the homepage,
But let's just go to the homepage. So when you land on this page,
Okay,
then you can tell people to sign up.
okay,
And they'll go
Okay.
all the way to the bottom.
go to the bottom because you can't have everything at the top. Okay,
well, I put.
there it is right there. Your first, last name and email and boom, you're in.
Okay,
You have to enter your, you have to enter your
okay,
email.
how many people now are signed up?
Almost 600, and that's organically.
Almost 600
Mhm.
out of over 8,000 voters in the district.
Well, what do you want us to do to get more people signed up?
We're talking about trying to connect with people,
Yeah,
and we've connected with 600 emails.
yeah.
Well, that's just for the news. our social
And
media
that's
is
the
more than that.
best connection we have
Well,
with the
how can we
people.
get more people to sign up? What do you propose?
I don't know, I'm not an internet
We can
person.
advertise it?
Well,
or something?
before Susan came aboard, it was happening. Because we weren't
Well, I
very
know, and
consistent,
that
so
wasn't-
consistency is one.
Yeah, well written.
We don't go out and spam people to try to get people to sign up, right? So we don't, but you gotta look at it, you gotta look at the whole thing. Our social media can get thousands of people clicking on it. We had one video that had over $100,000, over 100,000 views.
Well, is there any
So-
way to connect the newsletter to social media? Or parts of?
Well, we do that all the time. We put a blast out and say, hey, if you were interested in signing up for
No,
our
I don't
newsletter.
mean signing up for it. I mean having it.
Well,
Social media is easy. That's why people do it.
You know, like Facebook or
we'll,
something.
we'll put out links that say, click here to get our current newsletter, takes them right to our website where they can also read it and sign up.
I'd like it so a 5-year-old could do it just like so many things that are being sold in the country that our 5-year-old can find and buy. If you're not watching them. It would be so nice if there was a newsletter Facebook page. And every newsletter was put on your Facebook.
It
Didn't
is.
that happen?
There's even links to Facebook and and another social media account at the bottom of our e-newsletter.
If
That's,
We're doing all the things you're talking about, you're just not seeing it yourself. We're doing all those things.
so interesting enough, you know, the Coupeville Creative District had a newsletter. And Mary was quoted in it.
Our Mary,
Sign up.
Yeah.
Come on, that one, yeah.
And it's interesting because,
And that was easy to find, wasn't it?
well, just reading through it, it was like, you know, all of a sudden. The Coupeville Creative District newsletter was talking about saving the war from, you know, sea level rise. You know, it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, and they were saying it's gonna be $5 million in this article. And Mary was quoted as, you know, about the steps that the court was taking, so she ended up being our spokesperson. On the Coupeville Creative. District newsletter.
Well, you do LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah,
LinkedIn, you don't have to go, I mean, but you join it and then things just come and you can.
you can't curate it, you kind of say, I don't want to see this, somebody ads.
But
but I don't
yeah,
think-
but it's easy to get there. It's easier to get there once you,
Once you're in the system.
yes, and for the newsletter, every time you want a newsletter, you hope that it comes to your email, right, if you've signed up.
Maybe
So
you could
what-
send out the link to the Creative District newsletter. I can't actually find it, so.
I mean, there's,
Googling it.
yeah, talking about hard.
Yeah,
okay, that's enough of me.
Are you guys on 10 or 11? I've kind of lost track.
Okay. This is the last time for public comment. Is there anyone who wants to make some?
There's no one here.
You're done.
12:28?
Counselor?